Hey guys, welcome back to the Conservative Core, where our goal is to shine a light on the ridiculousness of the left. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Today we're breaking down a viral clip that I believe underscores a troubling trend for the Democrats as they rely on manufactured hype to push their candidate across the finish line. So let's run the clip.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm going to just be real honest with this. She's a black woman.
Yeah.
Because they skin folk, not Kim folk.
I think it goes back to what somebody was saying, where it's not voting for someone, but majority will vote for somebody else just
Hold on. Let me line this out.
I think majority.
Is it only because she a black woman?
Yeah.
Do you not see how that's a bad idea?
Elaborate.
Okay, so we're in 3 proxy wars with some of the most powerful leaders in the world. She failed at the border, in which we have an estimation of 15 to 20 million people illegally into this country. That is literally overtaking and bankrupting Chicago to the tune of over $400 million per year, and they're in a deficit. Oakland is going out of business. San Francisco ditto. California, $65 billion deficit. New York, they're literally cutting trash, in which they are the rattiest, dirtiest city, and they've taken up resources as far as free healthcare, free hotels to the tune of $600 a day. They're literally taking over your schools. Your taxpayer dollars are going to fund the migrant crisis. She was supposed to be in charge of this. We have a failing economy. Every single day I see people getting on the internet talking about $30 an hour is the new minimum wage because inflation is out of control. At one point, it was at almost 10%, depending on what city that you in. She has no policy, no record to stand on. One of the biggest things that she did in her career was lock up more black men than ever before. But we sitting here and vote her in office on identity politics. The very person that she was under as far as the president of the United States of America, she called him racist during a debate, which shows you how fake she is. And the only thing that we can stand on from a policy perspective is whether or not she's black and she's a woman. We did that during the Obama administration, and he didn't do anything for black people. As a matter of fact, y'all complain because the only person that he did, or the only group of people that he really stood for, is the alphabet community, and that's his landmark thing that he's still standing on today. So the only thing that we have to stand on is identity politics. That didn't work with Tiffany Henyard in Dayton, Illinois. It didn't work with Karen Bass. It didn't work with Lori Lightfoot in Chicago. It didn't work with Brandon Johnson that then took over her position in Chicago. It didn't work with Andre Dickens in Atlanta. It didn't work with Eric Adams in New York. It doesn't work across the country. Every single Democratic city is a hellhole. And we sitting here talking about identity politics?
My dude was spitting facts, and the clip underscores a familiar pattern. Supporting Kamala Harris is presented as a virtue in itself simply because she's a woman and a woman of color. The argument goes, I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she represents diversity. It's almost as if her identity is the main qualification. Democrats are pushing this identity politics narrative hard because they really have nothing else to run on right now. The border is a mess. Inflation is insane. Buying a house has never been harder as many can't afford it. They have nothing to fall back on. They have to try and hope this narrative can stick with voters. But the truth is many voters can see through the BS. And it's so true. Harris was given a major role in addressing the border crisis, yet we've seen a rise in illegal immigration and a worsening financial strain on major cities. And it doesn't stop there. Her record on criminal justice is under fire too. Identity politics might win some votes, but it's not a substitute for effective governance and tangible results. It's all about actual results, policy effectiveness, and leadership competence. When it comes to these factors, Kamala Harris falls short. It's as straightforward as that. Sure, there's a lot of hype and cultural narrative around Harris that's often inflated. But even amid this intense propaganda push, when we focus purely on job performance and effectiveness, the same patterns and trends emerge. The numbers are consistent. For instance, the Wall Street Journal recently released a poll asking about the approval of Donald Trump's presidency. Guess what? 51% of respondents said they approve of his job performance. This is a stark contrast to the narrative being pushed about Harris's effectiveness. But here is the real kicker. Take a look at Kamala's numbers. It says, do you approve or disapprove of the job Kamala Harris is doing as vice president? With only 4% saying they approve and 50% saying they disapprove. It is crazy because Trump is hitting new highs, all while Kamala gets nothing but love from the media, but is doing surprisingly terrible given the nonstop adulation of her anointment. And don't just take my word for it. The fact is, just a few months ago, even CNN was saying how Kamala is hurting Joe's chances of being reelected. Take a listen.
Interesting news. Recent focus groups conducted by the Super PAC Republican voters against Trump found that swing voters don't like Harris. And focus groups conducted by the Democratic National Committee also found Harris rubs some people the wrong way. So, Jonah, how big a drag is Kamala Harris on the ticket?
I think she's a pretty big drag. I think she was arguably Biden's worst political decision of his presidency to pick her in the first place. And one of the special reasons that she's a drag is Biden's age concerns people. They worry that he can't fill a term. They worry that he's not up to the job. And so the vice president matters more than they normally do. I generally think going into the future that Democrats really should not nominate or front people who come from decidedly all blue states unless they're like once in a generation talents like Barack Obama. Because Kamala Harris does not know how to talk to the center or to the right. She only really knows how to sort of speak the language of the base of the party.
I mean, there is a reason why she didn't get past the 2020 Iowa caucus. No one liked her. She had less than 1% of the vote and dropped out. She didn't get elected either. 14 million people voted for Joe to be the nominee. She is just now being forced down the throats of everyone in the Democrats' party.
In a recent poll, national poll, 40% approved of the vice president's job performance, while 55% disapproved. One of the things that people objected to was her voice. They said they found her voice, especially her laugh, annoying.
Oh, dear.
You know, it is amusing, and I put in Google, Kamala Harris finds her voice. It's not just it's not just the Harris team that's saying this. When you Google that, you get several articles by reporters. It is the media that's saying this. And about once every 6 months, the media writes a story, Kamala Harris finds her voice. And usually it's on the abortion message. If she had a strong, consistent voice and was really finding a lot of success as vice president, we wouldn't read an article every 6 months.
Yes, because no one ever writes about women and their voices. No one ever writes about women smiling or being appealed.
Well, you know, I kind of anticipated this.
I'm sorry.
People write about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his voice.
Not that much. Come on.
Oh,
and it's a particularly annoying voice, by the way. But that's besides the point. It's
precisely the point. Her voice is an issue.
She's got a problem with
the media, and the public seem to be completely in sync with Kamala Harris. She had some of the worst approval numbers as vice president, and everyone was done with her. It appeared as though her campaign was dead in the water. But then she gets the nominee, and now she is being taunted around the media like she is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Well, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, and like this video for more conservative news daily. See you in the next one.